Definition of the word.
Blind.
Adjective.
Unable to see, due to physiological or neurological factors.
Example.
Even a blind hen sometimes finds a grain of corn. Braille is a writing system for the blind. Unable to be used to see, due to physiological or neurological factors. Failing to see, acknowledge, perceive.
Example.
The lovers were blind to each other's faults. Authors are blind to their own defects. Of a place, having little or no visibility.
Example.
A blind path, a blind ditch, a blind corner. Closed at one end. Having a dead end, exitless.
Example.
A blind alley, a blind fistula, a blind gut. Having no openings for light or passage, both dark and exitless.
Example.
A blind wall, a blind alley. Smallest or slightest.
Example.
I shouted, but he didn't take a blind bit of notice. We pulled and pulled, but it didn't make a blind bit of difference. Without any prior knowledge.
Example.
He took a blind guess at which fork in the road would take him to the airport. I went into the meeting totally blind, so I really didn't have a clue what I was talking about. Unconditional. Without regard to evidence, logic, reality, accidental mistakes, extenuating circumstances, etc.
Example.
Blind deference, blind justice, blind punishment. Using blinded study design, wherein information is purposely limited to prevent bias.
Example.
A blind trial. Unintelligible or illegible.
Example.
A blind passage in a book. Blind writing. Abortive. Failing to produce flowers or fruit.
Example.
Blind buds, blind flowers. Uncircumcised, 1.
Adverb.
Without seeing, unseeingly. Absolutely, totally.
Example.
To swear blind. Without looking at the cards dealt. As a pastry case only, without any filling.
Example.
Blind bake your pie case for 15 minutes, then add the filling. This will help avoid a soggy bottom.
Noun.
A covering for a window to keep out light. The covering may be made of cloth or of narrow slats that can block light or allow it to pass. A destination sign mounted on a public transport vehicle displaying the route, destination, number, name and/or via points, etc. Any device intended to conceal or hide.
Example.
A duck blind. Something to mislead the eye or the understanding, or to conceal some covert deed or design, a subterfuge. A blindage. A halting place.
Example.
Can we find and add a quotation of Dryden to this entry? The blind side. No score. A forced bet. The small blind or the big blind.
Example.
The blinds are $10 and $20, and the ante is $1. A player who is forced to pay such a bet.
Example.
The blinds immediately folded when I re-raised.
Blind. Blind.
Blind. Blind.
Blind. Blind.
Blind. Blind.